Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the brand new Xbox handheld and the fact that, well, basically they may have schemed the system so perfectly that PlayStation cannot even go and compete with their own individualized handheld, at least from what we're kind of expecting. Now, you guys might be kind of thinking like, how's that work out? Where's the logic behind this one? And I kind of feel this is kind of a big subject the last day or two, so I kind of want to go and weigh in my own thoughts and comments on it because I do think that, well, the idea of future handheld gaming devices like the Lenovo Go's or Steam Decks are kind of the future for like this really fun little niche grouping of people who kind of enjoy handhelds and enjoy like just being comfy on their couch, playing games, bringing to their bed, going to their dorms, bringing to their friend's house, or even for travel. And it kind of seems like Xbox, due to how they're kind of functioning and how the kind of logic works out, may actually completely overtake at least PlayStation in the handheld department. And I'm usually more of a PlayStation bias guy myself, but I do think right now the Xbox Mobile is probably something that I actually would maybe buy over even like say like a PSP2, PlayStation 5P, whatever they want to go and call it. Or and that might be a hot take because I am such a big PlayStation fanboy. I do think I'd really enjoy an Xbox handheld a little bit, maybe more, depending on how they implement stuff. So let's go talk about this, talk about the drama, talk about all of your thoughts and comments down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, especially for our upcoming PS5 Pro giveaways going to be happening pretty soon for the holidays. Now that we're officially in December mode, and of course we have all the affiliate links down below for consoles and such. And I guess we'll sit back, relax, and enjoy. So as I mentioned over here, we've had to have this brand new information that there is meant to be both a PlayStation P2 and an Xbox console handheld. It's kind of been kind of like common knowledge. We've been seeing a lot of leakers going and talking about both ends. So there will at some point be a brand new Xbox handheld, and there will at some point most likely be a hardware, not PlayStation Portal, PlayStation handheld device in the coming next 1 or 2 or 3 years or so. Kind of depends on it, probably more 2 to 3 years depending. And that's why a lot of people are kind of clamoring, saying that the Xbox handheld console is going to be better. Because right now it can actually go and play PlayStation 5 games, and well, let's go talk about why. I've said that like 3 times, but whatever. Basically, the high level of this one before we go and dive on in is that the Xbox has a, well, I guess how it's kind of made. It's almost more of like a PC. If you guys have seen like the Lenovo Go's or even somewhat the Steam Deck, because they have somewhat more of an operating system or have a chance to utilize things like the Windows OS, like we're using Windows right in the second to use OBS, etc. It basically lets people, number one, go and download and utilize Steam. Now, Steam itself is the biggest, in my opinion, hub for when it comes to buying and selling games. And why that is special is if you already are a PC gamer and you want to go somewhat use what the Steam Deck is kind of used for, in all honesty, due to how the operating systems and the files and self, etc. work, it should be overall pretty probably fine. Like, you should be able to go utilize it, no problem. But as well, due to the fact of being on Game Pass and Xbox, it will most likely, without almost any shadow of doubt in my head, have an Xbox integration. Think how we have the Xbox Series X and X consoles, and they already have like formal, like they'll have like the menus and like you launch the thing, etc., etc. Like it's just the normal operating system inside the app. It's almost like an app on your own operating system. Think how if you launch PlayStation, they have the cool menus and graphics. Like it's technically its own like little weird operating system. It's just how it is. So that's like the big distinction between the two. So Xbox, due to their fact of how their things are coded, the Xbox console itself, as well as also the Xbox itself as a whole, like Xbox Game Pass, the operating system, the OS, all this stuff together basically will make it so you could probably play any PlayStation 5 game on the Xbox handheld device. And why is that? Number one is because a lot of these PlayStation 5 games are going to Steam. So obviously, if you can run Steam and run the Steam OS on your actual operating system with the Xbox handheld, you can play any game that comes to PC from PlayStation. Now, you may not get it day one, but it is kind of the yin and yang, or that's just how it works. If you want to sell your games on Steam, you're going to have to make it so your Xbox handheld can be able to go utilize it too as well. Now, the opposite is going to probably be a little bit not so true for PlayStation, because as you guys remember, or probably would expect, at least my expectation, is that it'll most likely have its own individualized PlayStation operating system, kind of similar to how they did for the PSP and like the PS Vita. Now, in theory, they could always change that and maybe even have more of a fine-tune in market. I think how they have like the Lenovo Go or like the Steam Deck, where they have a chance to go and have these operating systems and run whatever they want. And if they did, that'd probably be the best thing that could possibly happen. that have people maybe even having Game Pass on a PlayStation device, which in theory probably PlayStation doesn't really want unless they're getting some sort of a cut, and I don't think they would off a Game Pass. So it almost kind of seems like there's a little bit of a trump card over here in terms of these handheld devices. If PlayStation kind of falls on through with their usual norm of having it so they're like kind of fine-tuned to their own PlayStation operating system, which once again use a PSP for example, you boot it on up and it may have browsers into it, but you're basically running the operating system from PlayStation, what they design for you. While Xbox, Lenovo goes, etc., they have that free ball and status so they can kind of do whatever they want. And that's where I think you guys probably see the logic. So anyway, the industry insider now has claimed that Microsoft's rumored Xbox handheld will be able to run the PlayStation 5 games. Rumors of a handheld Xbox console have been circulating for years, but were more recently semi-confirmed by Phil Spencer, who claimed that handheld prototypes are already in the works at Microsoft. Although it could be some time until the console is released, players are already speculating about the potential handheld's library and whether it'll be a remote streaming device like the PlayStation Portal, which, by the way, it'd be really bad if there was another handheld device like that, or a full-blown handheld console. I want them both, PlayStation and Xbox, to have brand new full-blown handheld devices. And as well, if PlayStation could go against the grain and actually make it so it's a normal Windows operating system where they have a chance to run things like, say, Game Pass and other various things, that makes my life great and I would buy it day one. But that's why right this second I'm leaning towards the Xbox device. If I can play those games on PC anyway, and I can over time, and they'll probably have them come even quicker because they want to. For PlayStation, that makes an Xbox handheld a win. Game Pass integration is a win. Xbox integration is a win. And once again, just on I'm a Game Pass guy. I don't really like buying games full price. If they're on Game Pass, let's go run Game Pass. But at the same time, for me, streaming on Twitch, or just playing games on my PC, like my actual gaming device, it does kind of make things easier if it was also on my handheld. Like if I go and have Game Pass, which I actually currently have Game Pass right this second, I'm playing Stalker, I could literally go play Stalker on the cloud with my Xbox device. Like it really does integrate well. Now, PlayStation still does have streaming and cloud data too as well, although it's a little bit not as extreme as Xbox. Microsoft could always get better, but like that's just once again, I feel like it is kind of fine-tuned pretty well. And once again, I feel like I have a little bit of a baby PlayStation bias. Industry insider Tom Warren weighed in on the debate in response to X, just kind of throwing his thing over here. Basically having a chance to talk about this, saying that Microsoft handhelds will also run PlayStation games because Sony puts their games on PC. What this seems to imply is that the Microsoft handheld might not be exactly be an Xbox. It's likely to be closer to a handheld gaming PC and basically like the Steam Deck or Lenovo Legion Go, as I talked about as of this video already. And while it's unclear whether Warren actually knows this, but people are still speculating on this either way because we've had so much more confirmation and talks and conversations on all these handheld devices. Especially with Microsoft also trending more towards these handheld devices either way, which just logically makes a lot of sense. So basically, it's like they're kind of saying what I had to say over here. Is that it has a few assumptions on how it's going to work, but the logic is that PlayStation will have their own individualized operating system, and then it makes things harder to go run things like Game Pass or browsers or install stuff on their own, like say like Steam OS type stuff, or how say like a Lenovo Go would go. You could just have Game Pass running because it's basically just a little mini computer rather than a handheld device. Kind of like how the Portal is like basically only there for remote play. So PlayStation, even back in the PSP, did have their own operating systems, which did make things a bit on the weirder side. We haven't really seen too many Xbox handhelds, although we have a lot of laptops, and usually laptops are fine. So I'd be very curious to see on how they kind of want to do their own rundown too as well. But anyway, they're even citing over here stuff for the Series X and S that basically these graphical modes are evident that Microsoft is trending towards developing mini PCs. And obviously, they've, like I said, they've done like little mini laptops and other stuff like iPads, you know what I mean, like little tablets. So this does set apart from, say, most PS5 games, performance focused or quality focused settings, and brings it closer to the in-depth graphical modes commonly seen on PC. Perhaps more compelling, though, is Phil Spencer's interest in making third-party PC game stores like Epic Games and itch.io also available, which is also a nice thing, too. You could just run random stuff, play things like Roblox or whatever, I don't know, do whatever you want. Going Newgrounds, if you guys remember that from back in the day. But for that to happen, though, it says the Xbox Series X and S will need to be able to run PC games. And again, he's got a point. If you're going to put PC games up for sale on your console, you'd better make sure that those games work. And that also can run into some little small issues. But once again, basically because these games are available up on Steam, so Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon, you can also even mod it to as well, most likely. And basically right now it does kind of seem like Xbox has the advantage because they will be able to go play PC games and even things from like the Epic Games Store. And Sony keeps putting first-party PlayStation games on PC after the period of exclusivity. So at that point, no matter what, Xbox handheld would be able to go play those games on Steam. Like, it is just a crazy workaround that you would probably expect. You need to make sure people buy it, but At the end of the day, you can actually go make it happen. So it's kind of true, though, because everyone kind of wins. Like, there's almost nothing wrong with that because everyone does kind of win. Like, maybe not millions upon billions, like tens of millions, but there's definitely probably a few million folks that would buy a Steam Deck, buy a Lenovo Go, buy an Xbox handheld, and as well a PSP. Like, the PSP sold great. Like, even the Vita did like 20 million, and that was horrible, or maybe even more, but it was really bad either way. It still sold in the double digits of millions. So I think either way, both these companies should be buying these handhelds. They should be working on these. And I do think the Xbox One does seem a lot better from what we've seen so far, but I'd buy both. I'm cool with all of it. So let me hear your thoughts and comments on this down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on for a PS5 Pro giveaway, all the affiliate links down below. You just want to pick up some stuff. And also, I just appreciate you guys all so much for watching in the first place.